If you're feeling discouraged as an Etsy seller right now, then you're not alone. I mean, we've got tariffs to contend with, buyers are feeling the squeeze, we're having AI shoved down our throats, and selling, I feel, on Etsy in 2025 has never been harder. And this is why I'm making this video, because I wanted to offer up a little bit of hope to a topic that is otherwise a bit depressing. So shall we do that? Hello, I'm Kim. This is the Coffee and Craft Chat. Coffee, no craft. I do have one, I just haven't got it to hand. I'll bring that out in another video. Today though, the chat is all about, well, Etsy specifically, and it kind of came about because I'm working on a video that I'm hoping to release probably towards the end of next month, October. And it's going to be around the things that I'm doing, which I am, fingers crossed, hoping will help me bring in some more sales, because as I say, as we're talking about today, things are tough. You can say that with a smile on your face because it's not us, it's just everything at the moment, and I think there is some comfort to be taken there. But as I'm working on this other video behind the scenes, it kind of brought into sharp focus just how difficult things are at the moment. And I've been running my business since 2013, and I've been selling online in some form as a hobby, if nothing else, since 2007, which is when I opened my Etsy shop. And in all of that time, I have never known it to be this bad. Yeah, I do want this to be a hopeful video. Bear with me. It gets better. But I do think it is important to acknowledge that things are hard, to acknowledge the challenges, because I've spoken about it in the past. Being an online seller, a business owner, a maker, an artist, if you're doing it online or you're working from home, it can be bloody lonely sometimes. And if you think that you are the only one struggling with a thing, that can just only add to the loneliness and the isolation. If anyone takes anything away from this video, I want it to be that it's not you or your work. Things are just hard. But we have far more challenges than we had to contend with years ago. The most obvious challenge that I'll jump into, just get it out of the way because I don't want to dwell on it. Obviously it's the tariffs. I can't make a video like this and not mention them. Now I should point out, before anybody jumps in the comments and starts getting unhinged, it's not the tariffs per se that a lot of people have problems with. You want tariffs? Great, you do you. It was how they were brought in so swiftly, with no time for anyone to get ready for them. And because these tariffs were always supposed to come in, or at least the de minimis was supposed to be scrapped. There was a date due for that to happen. So it has been on the horizon and we've all known about it. But the date, I think, was 2026 sometime. And the point of that was to give people time to get the infrastructure in so that it could be a seamless thing. I can't think of the word. And with the speed that it was brought in, it's seamless, it just doesn't come into it. We're not even 100% sure if these tariffs are going to stick because there's some questions about the legalities of them, which won't get rectified for a little while. So it's... And of course, Etsy responded by no longer supplying Etsy labels to the US, which means we can still obviously take orders and sell them through Etsy, but it is basically Etsy's way of going, we're washing our hands of this, it's on you. So, like, cheers. So there's one challenge. Tariffs do affect international sellers in that regard. However, it's also having an effect on US sellers and US buyers because, of course, it puts the price up on everything else because they are the ones that have to pay for stuff coming into the country. And there is a cost of living crisis. That was a kind of term that was coined to talk about our economy here in the UK, but it's global. I think it's fair to say that there are a lot of countries that are having their version of it. And it's happening in the US as well. Things are hard and people are put off from making purchases if they're not sure how much they're going to get charged just to bring it into the country. And some of the items that they have to buy are going up in price because the people that they buy it from, like the bigger stores and what have you, they have to bring these things in. So linked to the tariffs but separate is the whole, I've put cost of living in other countries because that affects buyer behaviour. And we're having our own here as well. It's like I said, we're all in this together. It's great. And this one annoys me. It's AI being thrust down our floats. It's being thrust down our throats in everything. Things that you never thought needed AI have all of a sudden got AI in them. Some of you may know, right at the beginning of this year, I had to buy a new washing machine because our last one went kaput. And the amount of washing machines that had AI built in, and I was just like, why? Needless to say, I didn't want a washing machine with AI, so I purposefully avoided those. But I've also seen electric toothbrushes with AI technology. What? I cannot be the only person who doesn't understand how this can even be relevant. How can AI be relevant to a toothbrush? Okay, so this is where I have to put on my glasses out and where Etsy start to pee me off. If you've seen the most recent investor presentation, you'll know that Josh is all about his AI at the moment. Oh, my days. It does feel a little bit like it's being shoehorned into everything in the same way as electric toothbrushes. Now, I got this from the Etsy website and I'll put it here on the screen and you can pause if you want to read it all. But basically they're saying that they use AI in their search and image matching. Now, we already knew this, it just helps them try and match buyers with the right items. They use it in their review feature tags and estimated delivery dates, which I have seen. I have seen a lot of opinions on that and I've seen a lot of examples of them getting it wrong. Now, this is having an impact on people getting found on Etsy. And I have noticed that this month, September, my views have halved from this time last year, which is really unusual because my sales fluctuate, but my views have been more or less the same year on year. Now, is that down to them playing with AI behind the scenes? Is it down to the tariffs? Is it a mix of both? I don't know. But this is the first time that this has happened in quite some time. So I thought it was worth bringing up. Oh, and while we're talking about AI, they being Etsy, are coming up with a new seller community hub, which is going to go live from October the 20th, I think. I'm reading my notes, but my writing is terrible, so I can't read what I've written. And yeah, it has, you guessed it, AI-powered search. I can't really talk to that. I have no idea. We'll have to wait and see. But this is where you're going to find the forums and the Etsy handbook and stuff. And I guess if you search for what your problem is, they will use AI to come up with all of the most relevant articles that they think that you will need to see. Okay, and this is the one that I've seen have the biggest impact on my shop and my sales. It's not new, but it's been dialed up to the max, and that's localization. Okay, we've all heard about localization with Etsy. As I say, they dial it up, they dial it down. This is the reason why I was a bit nervous about bringing this one up, because it can get political and I do not want any disrespectful or unhinged comments, and I certainly don't want to see people just attacking one another. If I see that, I'll delete you. Be an adult, be respectful, or be gone. Anyway, localization. Let's talk about it. The last time the current administration was in the US, I noticed this happen. And that was that I lost almost all of my US customers, and I found that it was very difficult to get seen by other countries other than my own, the UK. It was a bigger deal then because I was also selling to the EU. Obviously things are different now. I don't sell to the EU because of Brexit, because hey, the UK can make mistakes too, and oh boy, do we. But what was interesting was when the administration changed, all of my US customers came back. And I noticed that when I searched as a buyer on Etsy, I was fed a lot more of a mix. Things from the UK, things from the EU, things from America, that kind of thing. It was just a better mix, and that has gone way back to what it was before. It's like, it's pretty much all UK now. Now again, I'm not saying localization is new. I absolutely know that it's not, but it's like a dial. Sometimes they dial it up, sometimes they dial it back, and it has been dialed right up to max again. In fact, let me show you. If I put in a butterfly sticker into the Etsy search, you can see here that most of them will say dispatch from GB. More GBs, more GBs, and more GBs. Okay, let's try something a bit different. What if I put in spooky ghost sticker? What happens there? Okay, so we've got a few more that aren't marked as dispatch from GB, but still the majority of them are. And I've done some other searches as well, and it's pretty much been the same. It seems to be that the more saturated the niche, the more localized your search is going to be. However, if you're looking for something and there aren't as many results to put in search, then naturally Etsy will take from other sellers that match the search result, which means that you might get a bit more from other countries in there. But the reason I show you that is just to show you that you're not invisible. You absolutely are not invisible. People will see your shop, but the chances of people seeing your shop are much lower now, and that it has been ramped up, at least at the time of filming. I don't know that this is the same for everyone. This could be UK specific. It could be a few countries specific. It could be across board. I don't know. I don't work for Etsy, and that's the thing. Nobody really does know. The only reason I'm telling you this is because I think it's worth mentioning, because I've seen a lot of talk around the lack of visits or lower visits on Etsy, and I just want to reiterate what I said earlier in this video, in that it's not just you, it's not me, it's not other people, it's just we're all dealing with a lot of challenges, and this is one of them. Okay, I think we're done with the challenges now. I don't know about you, but it can be a bit depressing going through all of them, and that is the result that for a lot of sellers we start to feel burnt out and demotivated and all of the things. But don't lose hope. It's not you, it's not your business. Things are hard. It's okay to pause if you need to. It's okay to look elsewhere and get a part-time job just to keep a consistent income coming in. You can look at that as your side hustle, and this is your main job. It doesn't have to be permanent, it can be temporary. And it's also important to remember that what you do still matters. In fact, I would argue that it's more important than ever right now. If I had to suggest anything, I would suggest that you focus on your email list, which I did a video on recently, and just build community building around your business. I've always said that, but I think that is more important than ever. And it reminds me actually of a video that I made a year or so ago, I can't remember. It was the one where I covered Jack Conte of Patreon's keynote speech. I can't even remember what the event was. I'll link it at the end of this video in case you're interested. But if you want to feel a bit more inspired and pumped up and optimistic, I absolutely 100% recommend watching that video. His video. I mean, you can watch mine too, but I'm digressing. Help. Notes to keep me on track. Oh yes, he was saying that it's kind of like the end of the age of followers, subscribers, that kind of thing, and that going forward, creators should be focusing on smaller niche communities. And I really, really think he's right. This is definitely going to pass. It passed last time, it is going to pass again. It's going to pass like a kidney stone. I can't sugarcoat that, but it is going to end at some point. I hope sooner rather than later. And so I would like to hear from you. If you've got any tips, tricks, or creative ways of dealing with the current everything and adapting, please do get in the comments, and we'll keep the conversation going. Not just for my benefit, although from a selfish level, I do love reading your comments, but I know that other viewers also read the comments. And so if you've got any other nuggets of information that I've missed that you think would be useful to others, for the community, then drop it in the comments, and as I say, we'll keep the conversation going on there. In short, this will end. It will be okay. I believe that in my bones. It might just take us a little time to get there. In short, this is a plot twist. A painful one, but it will end. So hang tight.